Yeah, it says it's not. Well, my computer says it's now streaming live.
Yeah, it is. It is. I forgot to put um my glass back on. Hey everybody, we're back. Um, so of course I'm trying to share it. Give me a minute and we are going to get started.
All right.
So of course I'm trying to share it. So then just cut the volume down because I on my phone I got the volume completely off because I knew we was it's a small delay
Okay.
between the two um places. And then I go to my page and do a watch party. All right. I have hi everybody. We're back. I have been doing interviews all day. I started at 11:30 this morning. And then I took a break from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then from 3 to 4, I was on. Then I just took a small break from 4 to 5. And then my last one is today at 6 o'clock. And then I'll come on tomorrow and do it all over again.
And I keep looking at the time like it's 6 o'clock now, but that's 6 o'clock your time.
Yeah, somebody else was just like, "Oh my God, I'm late." I'm like, "No, it's 4:30. You're good." Because the different time zones. So I guess I should have put Central Time. But I thought when I sent you guys the invite on the calendar that it would fix to your time.
It does. It does.
It does. Okay, perfect. So hey everybody, I am back. I am, of course, Makita. I am the founder of the Art of Transparency Tour and organization. Not sure if I said it earlier, but we are a 501c3 organization, not for profit. I am live with another tour member, Santeresa. And I used to be like, Santeresa, I don't know. So, and then we had a conversation. I was like, that's how you say it. I'm real bad with
it. It's okay.
So, I know, right? I'm sure you've gotten that pretty much a lot in your life because, yeah, Makita is never mind. Never mind. So we're gonna start as I have tried to start every meeting. Each one of them have been completely different and completely amazing. So my first question to you, as it has been for everyone, would be, tell me about you and what you're doing. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, tell us about you.
You think I would I practiced this for so long, right?
We all.
I am. I am a trauma recovery coach, like certified trauma recovery coach, right? I'm an author. I did a book, a collaboration was the first piece that I was in, where I wrote like 3 times a charm because I was married and divorced. And then I just came out with my own book called Releasing My Secret. And I'm a people person, so I think my ultimate goal, just who I am, is I'm a business owner. Like you see, I'm stuttering, right? I'm a business owner. I'm inspired by you. And I think my ultimate goal is just to help people. Right, just a people person. People are hurting. People have hidden secrets. People have hidden things that they've gone through, and I believe that God has allowed for me to go through a lot of things so that I can help people now.
And it's so needed. It's so needed. Today we have talked about mental health. We've talked about hurting for others that's close to us. We have talked about suicide awareness and suicide attempts. We have an array of speakers and members of the team. So give us just a little bit of your story. Like what is it about your story that you want to share?
So people that know me, I think I know a lot of people. I come from a really big family. My grandmother had 18 kids, right? So
Ooh.
I know a lot of people. So people know a lot and pieces of my story, from being homeless to being incarcerated to like just different things. My focal point that I've mainly focused on, and I believe where my heart is at, is when I went through my sexual assault. Because when I trained to become a sexual assault advocate, that training exposed so many things about so many layers about yourself, right?
Yes.
So you learn like, oh my God, like I thought that when he said, please, baby, please, I was just like, but no, that's, a different, another form or another level. And then actually being an advocate, I've seen so many people, from men and women to children, just hurting, just saying, I don't know how I could continue on. I don't know how I could move forward. And it's kind of like, okay, God, well, you brought me through that. And because he brought me through that, and it was an extended lesson. It wasn't something that was short. So being that he brought me through that, I'm like, okay, God, well, this is what I'm going to use, because it's people who've dealt with it from childhood, people who deal with it while they're in a marriage and they're dealing with it. And then it's people who are teenagers. I was a teen mom who have, who have gone through it, or they deal with it, just to, let me just do it just to get over it. And then they bury that. And because they buried it instead of dealt with it, now they have other issues that they're dealing with trying to progress in life.
Yeah. I think it was Marquita and I've done like so many interviews today, but I do believe it was Marquita and and we were talking about how one trauma will trigger something else because we did not deal with that part of it. So now we're triggered by something else. And then we're like, whoa. So you breathe wrong, look wrong, say something along that line, and now I'm triggered by it. So do you feel like you can deal with your triggers, or do you have triggers at this
I
point?
no longer have triggers. It took me from my assault and then moving forward of years to actually go through it. And my healing process actually started with healing, forgiveness. I had to actually forgive the person who assaulted me, right? And again, it was multiple layers. So then when you're in a marriage situation and you're forced to do things that you don't want to do, but you feel like some part of it, I'm obligated to do it. And you don't talk about those triggers to your spouse, because they won't really understand it, because that's something personal that you were dealing with. So for me, I had to forgive. I had to go back and forgive. I actually was able to inbox them on good old social media and say, I forgive you. And then now, after I did that, oh my God, I felt so sick. I was like, what am I doing? God, what am I? Because, normally you just mad and, you live with that. But I got tired of the triggers. I got tired of the depression that would come, the oppression that would come. You couldn't listen to certain songs and failed relationships. And then when you get to a point when you release it, and then now I can move forward. So now I can listen to those old school jams. I used to love Music Soul Child. Now I Love You When Your Hair Turns Gray. That I ain't
I love him.
That's the song.
Absolutely love him.
I heard it right before I was assaulted. So every time I heard that song, it would trigger me. And now I could listen to it. Now I could, I could go places. I don't feel like I have to look over my back anymore. So yeah, I could say that, God brought me through that. I'm not saying that, you read my book or you deal with me, it's going to go away right away. I'm not saying that, right? Or you hear my story. It's a process. Everybody has a process that they need to go through. I think for me, I just want to tell people that you're able to heal from it.
You can get through it. You can get through it.
Yes.
So what's crazy in that is, I had to forgive, right? I had so much built up anger that I didn't even realize I was angry anymore. I just thought that's who I was. And I remember telling people, like, you either like me or you don't. I don't care. Yeah, okay. You don't even like yourself, child. Go for that. In the corner. So, were you able to go to Memphis with us? You didn't go, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you have not experienced the AOT experience. I do know she was also, guys, she was also one of the people that was in January.
Yes.
So if you heard about January, you already know that that is not how our conferences go, right? So she has yet to experience the AOT experience, but she has hung in there even after January. She has hung in there. She'll be in Houston as long as we can get this date together. So right now, like I said, like I tell people, we are on hold. I absolutely hate it. But what else can you do? You know, we're on hold. We don't want to be endanger ourselves,
Yeah.
and we definitely don't want to endanger our audience because with us flying, who knows what's on the plane? It just gets real
Tricky.
sticky and tricky, right?
Yeah.
So tell us, because I know that you weren't there from Memphis, so you have yet to really experience an Art of Transparency experience. But what made you join the tour?
Um, I think it was just I was browsing. Well, I don't even know how I came across you, right? I can't even tell you to this day. It's not like we had mutual friends at first. So
Right.
that's really kind of weird to me. I
Yeah.
think it was I really don't know. I think it was the book tour. My book had just came out. And I was like, hey, I was like, I think and I frequent Chicago. So I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, that could be cool. I could just go fly out there, drive out there, whatever, go experience whatever. And then so I was signed up initially to be a guest vendor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, let me just find out about the tour, let me
Yeah.
kind of so I believe that all things kind of like line up.
Happened for a reason.
Yeah, it all kind of happens for a reason and lines up because it wasn't like we had mutual friends. It was like an ad that I seen. And I was like, you know what, this sounds, like a really good thing, for me
Mm-hmm.
to kind of sign up for and just to have that experience or even just to meet different people. I was coming out of my comfort zone, right? And learning that I've been different places and I've told my story, but now I'm on a totally different level, just
Mm-hmm.
spiritualized and just comfortable with Santeresa to where I can talk. Before I was reading a paper and like reading like a robot. So like now I'm a little bit more comfortable with myself, and I just felt like it would be a very great experience. When I met you guys in January, you guys seemed very awesome. The love there, the fellowship, just the
Yeah.
friendship that you develop over time, because even like talking and speaking outside of the group is different as well. So
Yeah. It's been so far 2020 has been an amazing ride. I do know, like I said, being on a shutdown right now, we have to still um in so many words cater to our audience.
mhm.
So I wanted to bring everybody to the forefront just so you can get that hi, how are you? So you can introduce yourself and people know who you are. I think that is so very important for people to know that we're not going anywhere.
Hmm.
Just like the world, we are shut down as well. So I wanted so yeah, I wanted everybody to know all of our speakers and just to kind of see what just a little bit of their story and what that really is. Because I tell people all the time, we've got an array of stories. I tell people all the time, like you wouldn't even understand. We've got so many different stories
Yeah.
and so many same stories. But your story is still not my story. My story is not your story. So I want people to know that we've been through that. We've been
Yeah.
through so many different things. You can get through too. You can
Yeah.
get through. All you got to just come out, you can get through too. And that was the biggest thing for the Art of Transparency when I started it. It was really about telling my story because somebody somewhere is going through somewhat of
Yeah.
what I've been through, what I'm going through, what I got through. So it was really important to tell my story and really important to get an audience that I don't want to say that needs to heal, because a lot of our audience don't even realize what's happening with them. But to be able to tell that story is just absolutely amazing.
It's that aha moment, because like I was saying, when I was training to be an advocate, sometimes sitting in an atmosphere and hearing different things, you're like, wait, I'm going through that. Like sometimes you don't even realize, it brings you into reality to realize like, oh my gosh, like I'm going through the same thing, or they came through. It's certain parts of your story that you've told, and I'm like, oh, I know I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just, so you never know, you never know. Like people have things that they go through, and sometimes they feel that it's just normal, or like, a sense of normalcy. But, I believe that, especially nowadays, that God is like, listen, it's time for you to deal with these things. So I'm going to show you you're not alone as you're going through it.
So it was brought up in the conversation prior to you, of course. Do you think that, I mean, beyond the virus, right, beyond all of the political stuff, do you think that God is trying to say, hey, you need to sit down? Do you think that it's a bigger scale of kind of sit down and listen? This is the time to kind of regroup and figure some things out?
I think it is. But then I also think that this time is preparing us for such a greater revival that, great, because sometimes it's a wake up call for everybody. You have a lot of people who were misled, a lot of people who stopped going to church, a lot of people who fell off, a lot of people who just, now they could sit down and really listen to the true voice of God. I think that we have to remember, I know that we're all going through, but we have to hold on to, draw our strength from the Lord. What is our strength? The joy of the Lord. And it's not saying that like, hey, we're going to walk out the house tomorrow. The joy of the Lord is really just knowing and understanding that God is in control of no matter what's going through, and that he still sits on the throne and he still reigns. He's alive. He sees what's going on. So no matter what happens, we have to be the people of God to understand that our Father is in control, and that's who we're going to draw our strength from. The joy is our strength.
Forever.
Yeah.
I asked you that because we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I just feel like for me personally, I have a daytime job, and now I got this part-time, almost full-time job. So when I leave one job, I'm going to the next job, right? And once I leave the next job, I'm coming home, getting things together so that I can go to bed. Sometimes I'm doing homework because I'm also a full-time student. So we're so go, 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 that sometimes he does not have the chance to really, or we, not him, because he's going to say what he needs to say. It's up to us to kind of listen to it. And we don't hear it because, your mind is, oh, I need to go to the grocery store. Oh, I need to go over here. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. And we are not sitting long enough quietly, right? Because you can sit, but are you quiet? Did you quiet yourself to hear it? So I just think such a time as this is for us to sit and just kind of, I think we need to regroup. A lot of businesses, a lot of the mom and pop store type things, maybe you need to regroup and figure out, what, if this ever happens again, how do I become online? Or how do I
prepare for it?
How do I prepare to get through if this happens ever again? For me and the tour, it made us go live. You know what I'm saying? It made me say, you know what? I still need to get my speakers in front of an audience. I still need people to hear these stories. I still need people to know who we are and what we stand for, even sitting in our own front rooms or bedrooms or whatever have you. So that was my biggest thing. Like, you still need to regroup. You still need your business to keep going. This organization cannot. We are an organization that do events and conferences. So what happens when you can't do those things?
Do an online conference.
There you have it. There you have it. So
I've seen it done.
We're going to be doing it if they don't get us out this thing we in, honey. So to that, I want to ask, what is it that you want to see going forward in 2020 for yourself and your own brand, as well as the Art of Transparency?
Um, like I said, we could do an online conference. That'd be kind of dope. I've seen people do it though, really, really. Like, people be like, listen, online. A lot of people do it. But just, you know, I guess to make yourself more visible, because it's easy to hide when you're in person, right? It's easy to say, no, I'm not gonna, like, I really struggle kind of today. I'm like, oh God, we about to go live. Like, I don't know who's watching. Like, and I have a business coach, and he's always like, you need to get online. And I'm like, I don't want to, right?
My coach says the same
Really?
thing. We haven't worked together in a couple months now because finances and things of that nature. And I just believe in paying people. Like, yeah, she's worth all of the money that she's asking for. But she used to say, Makita, you're not live, you're not doing this, and you're not doing that, and you going from city to city, and these people are looking for you. So I think that this is another time. This is another thing. I had a radio show previously, and we would go live every Saturday. So that got us out and about, which was great. But I've left the radio show since then, and I've been trying to figure out how to do one at home, because I've got all of the equipment. Jesus.
Oh wow.
I have all of the equipment, so all I need to do is kind of just go live. But I'm just like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
So that is something that I'm planning to do, like go live more.
Once a month, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
It has to be something.
We could hold each other responsible. We both could be like, all right, yep.
You have not been live all month. What's your day?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So yes, I absolutely believe that. Which is the whole reason we are a team. The team holds each other accountable. And I was just telling one of the other speakers, you all have grown me, because there's certain things that I can't do. There's certain, there's certain things that I have to do as a leader. Like, I hate to make decisions. When it came to canceling Milwaukee, I was like, I do not want to cancel. Let's just go. And we can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't. Some things unfortunately, we can't do. We got to move Houston because we have to do Houston. We got to now move Mother's Day. So some things just have to be scratched off the list so that the other things can now take place. So yeah, I think we definitely need to go live a little bit more just to say, hey, how you doing? I'm still here. I'm doing okay. So I do think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing, and I will definitely hold you accountable, honey. I'm good at holding other people accountable.
I see you.
It's that self accountability that I'm still working on.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you done told her to go live. When you go live? Yeah. So I think that's great. So my last question to you is, what is it that in the end of 2020, because I am decreeing and declaring all my people coming back for 2021, because this 2020, they didn't mess us up. We had a whole half a year. We couldn't do nothing. So what is it that you want to see in the Art of Transparency coming out or coming for the rest of 2020?
I think just growth, continuous growth in not stagnation, just growth spiritually, and growth even, just in our own personal businesses, just to kind of just to continue to grow. You know what I mean? Just continued growth, continued fellowship, and things like that. So
that would be amazing. It will happen because we're gonna go live.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you, honey, and I want to congratulate you on your book that is now all over in the store, and she got them on her person. I think you are one of the newer people with a newer book, rather. I'm still working on book 3 and 4.
I'm working too. That's
Right.
another accountability thing. And I'm home and I'm in school, right? So I'm like doing schoolwork, homework. I'm like, I got all this time. Oh, and
Yeah, I
Lord,
have not been online today for school
yeah.
at all. I'll go online because my last two participants, one is having an issue with her Zoom, and the other one does not feel well at all. She ended
Oh
up
wow.
going to the emergency room last night, so she does not have the virus. Thank you, Jesus. But she is under the weather. So my
Yeah.
last two interviews have been pushed to tomorrow.
Okay.
So this is it for tonight, guys. So I want to thank you, Santeresa, for the interview. I want to thank you for now being my new accountability partner with this whole live thing in our books.
Yes.
I want to thank you, Facebook, for tuning in. You all have been in and out all day. I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Click like, click share, invite your friends. That would be amazing.
Yes.
And anything you want to say closing us out?
No, have a great day. Be safe. Stay in the house.
In the house.
So we can get out the house.
Like if everybody stay in the house, we can go outside and be outside and don't have to come back. Okay? Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you on tomorrow. We start at 2:00 p.m. tomorrow. I don't know who my first person is, so I'm not about to say it. But I do know we start at 2:00 tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Santeresa. I will talk to you soon.
All right.
And see you guys later, okay?
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.